Hey guys, it's Michelle. So today was follicle scan day, cycle day 13. I got great news today. I was so excited. So I went into it. I always get super nervous every time before I do one of these scans. I don't know why, even though I know the 100 milligrams was working and I actually ovulated, so I knew I was probably going to have a mature follicle. So anyways, I went after work today at 4 o'clock and I get in there. And I was kind of nervous, especially too because the doctor that I was seeing was, again, another doctor. I think I've seen 4 or 5 different doctors at this practice, and everybody has shoved a probe up my hoo-ha. But anywho, so I looked up this doctor ahead of time, and she, was like an older lady, and she specializes in menopause. It said, I was like, oh great, I'm getting the menopause lady for my Clomid mid-cycle ultrasound. But she came in super fast. I didn't have to wait very long at all. I was maybe sitting there 5 minutes before she even walked in. Came in, put the probe in, and she's like, oh, everything looks great. She's like, you're responding really well. She said, your lining is absolutely perfect. It was 7.2, so it was just about exactly the same as it was last month. And then she started looking around. She's like, oh, your right side has a great mature follicle, big dominant follicle in there. And I was like, oh, okay. So I look, and I'm thinking I'm seeing my ovary. And she's like measuring it, and I was like, oh, well, where is it? I said, are you measuring my ovary? She's like, no, this is your follicle. And I was like, what? I just said, how big is it? And she's like, it's 24. And I was just so elated and excited. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's great, that's great. And, because I'm only day 13, and last month on the 100 milligrams of Clomid on day 13, I had a 16 millimeter follicle, which was great. I was super thrilled with at the time, but to have a 24 on day 13, I think is just so amazing. I'm really just thankful and excited, and I cannot wait to get that positive OPK now that I know that Big Mac Daddy is in there. So, yeah, she was amazing. I was like, I'm sorry, I think it's really silly to get this excited over, a follicle in your ovary. And she's like, no. She's like, I've been in your shoes. She's like, I went through fertility treatments, and I know what this feels like. And, I just know how great this news is for you. So that was kind of nice to hear, having a doctor that's been through the same thing, that you are going through and have been through, and they understand your emotions, and they don't think you're some crazy, infertile, weird, crazy person every time you get so excited about jump off the table that they tell you have a nice giant follicle in there. My left side did have a couple follicles, but she said they definitely weren't anywhere near as big as the one on my right, so I'll definitely be ovulating from my right ovary this month. I'm guessing with how big it is, probably over the weekend or Monday or something, don't you think, guys? I don't know. I've never had one this big before, this early in the cycle, so really exciting. She did also give me some super cool news that since I'm consistently only producing one, dominant follicle, that I don't need to come in anymore for mid-cycle ultrasounds, which, I wasn't paying for them anyways. Our insurance was great, and our insurance was covering those. But it would be nice not to have to bill them for those. And so there's just absolutely no need, since I'm only making one egg, and there's no risk of, 5, 6, 7, 8 eggs growing that they would tell me to hold off for the cycle. So she gave me a refill for 2 more months of 100 milligrams of Clomid. And she just said, go for it, take them, do your OPKs, do everything you're doing now. She's like, there's just absolutely no need for any more ultrasounds. And if you don't get pregnant after the 2 following cycles after this one, and obviously not if I don't get pregnant on this one, but she said, then come back, have a consultation, they'll sit down and we'll talk and decide if I should go to an RE, which I really think I'm going to do, or if I wanted to start doing cycles of Femera with them. So yeah, nothing but great news today. And I did ask her about my spotting. I told her about the 9 days past ovulation, all the spotting that I had, and how heavy it got. And I was really concerned about my progesterone level, or if something was wrong with my lining. And she said, know, a lot of women get that on the Clomid, which I didn't really think that they did, but I'm just worried about implantation. But she kept reassuring me that no, it is not going to affect your implantation, that it's fine. So I guess I got to trust them and go with what they say, at least for these next 2 cycles. And hopefully we'll get this Big Mac Daddy out of my ovary, and we'll be having a baby pretty soon. I wanted to also show you guys my supplements that I've been taking. I started taking red raspberry leaf for the first time this cycle. And I read this online too, but, for my uterine lining and, just to help with my cycles. I heard it helps with spotting as well. But I read you can get kind of crampy when you're first on it, and I totally did. I thought, oh yeah, whatever, that doesn't really happen, but it did. For like the whole first week I was on it. I'm taking 2 capsules, 1 in the morning and 1 at night, but now the cramping and everything is totally gone after I take it. So these are the ones I ordered. I got them on Amazon. Just these Nature's Way red raspberry leaves. I think they're 450 milligrams, it says. Yep. But, yeah, and then I'm still taking the Fertile CM twice a day, even though it says 3 times a day. And I'm trying to drink the 64 ounces of water that they recommend you take, but I'm just not a huge water drinker. I think I'm getting about 3/4 of that amount, which I think is pretty good. And these are my prenatals that I'm taking. I love them. They taste pretty good. They're just gummies. So they have the DHA and, folic acid and all that good stuff. The only thing they don't have is the iron, which I'll probably just switch the prenatals once I actually do get pregnant to ones that include iron. I hate swallowing giant pills. I have a really hard time with it. Like, I keep trying and trying to swallow it, and they're still sitting there, and then they start tasting disgusting because the coating's breaking down, and ugh. So I found those gummies at Kroger when I was grocery shopping, and they're awesome. I just love them. I've been taking those since last May. And my OPKs, I'll give you a little update on that. I have been taking them since cycle day 11. I was using my Wanfo strips, and I started using my Clear Blue Digital this morning, and I got a flashing smiley this morning. My Wanfo strips are still the same, like, very faint line, and my Wanfos usually do that, very faint line, and then all of a sudden, bam, they're completely positive. There's no gradual fade in for me at all. It's just negative in the morning and boom, super positive in the late morning or afternoon. So I'm just waiting till 7 o'clock tonight, I think, to take another OPK. So hopefully I'll be updating soon with a positive OPK. I'll do a video for that, and I'll probably also be doing a pregnancy test this month, a live one. I broke down and got some Wanfo HCG tests too, so I'm going to really sneak in and test early, which I know last month I said I wasn't going to do it all because I didn't want to do it, but I was just dying to test all month last month. I don't know what the deal was. I just constantly wanted to test, and I don't want to waste $1 million. So I'm just going to use the Wanfo strips, I think, until about 12 DPO, and then use a first response. And then if I get any kind of a fate line, I'll probably wait a day and do a Clear Blue Digital. So wish me luck, girls. Send me baby dust, and I'm sending a lot of baby dust to all you TTCers out there who are still trying, and just keep your heads up and keep going. That's the only thing that we can do, is just to stay positive and trust that there's a plan for all of this for us. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope it's pretty soon. Bye, girls.